People already know that. How you doing? I am Dr. Paul Dyer, Grandmaster of Martial Arts Sciences. I want to talk to you about the beginner's mind. And as we are now moving away from the fear or the expressed fear of the pandemic, I want to bring you back to when we do meditation and we do an action called the beginner's mind. It is about understanding the beginning of your development of thought. So, the reason why I've been practicing Buddhism for such a long time, and going to Shanghas is because it helps me investigate my own internal mind. It does not help you with fixing it, but the only way you can start the process of fixing or creating something better or beautiful. Be careful of the word used, better. And the reason why is because that means everything you have done was wrong. You were never wrong. You were never bad. You were not in sin. None of those. What you were was conditioned. You were created not by the creator, but you were created in a social system of how you're behaving. And get that point very clear. If you were created to behave a particular way in a social system that we are living in on this plane, the reason why I always distinguish the plane is because we have an earth plane, we have a spiritual plane, we have a soulful plane. And a lot of us really react to this chemical plane we live in. And that's a problem for us because we don't understand our beginner's mind. In Japanese, we call it Soshin. This is the Zen of developing the beginner attitude. And the problem with that is that we don't know where we began because we never developed our own personal self. We didn't develop our personal self. And if we were unable to develop our personal self and we're going off of what was created for us, then who are you will always be in question. You're going to always be in question of what am I, who am I, and what do I do? We feel so important to want to belong, to not be forgotten, that we go into different groups with the intention of action. The intention of action. We may think we want to belong to a team, go to the practices, but not really want to play in the game. Well, this is why if you go from a young, youthful person who's played in sports or anything, we first get introduced. First, we must try out. Then we get accepted. Then we go to practice. And then in practice, we're doing the training. And then on that specific day, we go into the game. We go into the game. So not everything is understood by the person who wants to play, who wants to be included, because they have not developed their beginner mind. The quieting of not moving forward, but understanding where you're coming from. It is hard to develop the action of intention if you don't know where you're coming from. The beginner's mind is settling from the beginning of creation, beginning of cultivation. until you understand that part of your mind, the beginner's mind, the quiet mind, the mind of silence, the mind of development, the mind of whole. Because we're fragmented by trauma. We're fragmented by economical trauma, relationship trauma, parental trauma, environmental trauma, systematic systems trauma, right? We know it's out there. We see the news, we read the paper, we know what the systematic trauma is because they keep pushing it. They push it all on you to move you away from your own mind and your own cultivation and your own development. That's why it's pushed. That's why it's pushed on the papers, pushed in the news. It's pushed upon you for you not to recognize where you're not. Is to keep you twisting and moving, better known as the monkey mind. I've written a paper called the crockpot mind. So much stuff is thrown in to the crockpot that you didn't put in. This is your crockpot. This is the crockpot that people are putting in, and you're the one cooking it. And if you were in a kitchen and you had 6 different people putting stuff into a pot, a boiling pot, and you're the cook, how do you know what you're cooking? How do you know what seasons to put in for you to develop and cultivate? You have to put in your ingredients. You have to put in your own seasonings so you can develop, cultivate what you're cooking. So relax. Develop that mindset that you can have from the beginning. Because the beginning is all it is important. The beginning is worth for you to understand. I understand there's many ideas out there to help you translate or to transition. But if you don't know what you're transitioning from, then you will never know what you're transitioning to. If you don't know what you're transitioning from, then how do you know what you're going to transition to? You have to develop, and that's a tough thing to do, is to purposely understand your own personal trauma, your own personal absences. You're not bad. You, the creator, create, develop, cultivate from the beginning, your understanding of beginning. To be on this earth, we've had parents, we've had teachers, we've had friends, we have loved ones, we have children, we have pets. All those things are and is and will forever be a part of you. Enemies, all those things. Everyone, the grains of sand, stars in the moon, they're all a part of you. But the beginning mind helps you understand that you are also a part of it all. They're a part of you and you're a part of all of it. Life, death. The process. We hear that it's a journey. It's more than a journey. So develop your beginning mind. Develop your Soshin. And you too will find happiness. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. But I hope you begin from the beginning. Love you all. Many peace and blessings. Thank you.